Hey, old lady! Don't you think it's getting time for you to stop faking being my mom and just leave me alone? You really thought you could just meet my fiancé before the wedding saying you're my mom like that? When did I ever say it was okay for you to talk to him in the first place?
Rin, what has gotten into you? I understand that I'm not your mother by blood or anything, but I've been with you for 10 years now, ever since you were in middle school. I may just be your stepmother, but I still believe I have the right to meet that man.
In other words, you mean you're a fake, right?
That's not at all what I mean by being your stepmother. I have made sure to take care of you for the longest time now, like your mother. And at your age, now you should be able to understand that I've always wanted the best for you, right? Even though you were just some kid that your dad brought along with him when the two of us started to take things seriously, I made sure to think of you as my own.
That's nasty to hear from some old woman. Acting like you're so amazing for doing that, even though you never had to. You even went and acted all high and mighty around him by saying you're my mom. That's so freaking embarrassing. I had to explain everything to him about you after that, and it was a total waste of my valuable time.
But even your fiancé was willing to understand me. He didn't even bother that I'm your stepmother calling myself your mom. The only person that seems to be all worked up about this right now would be you, Rin. Now end that attitude, please. This has been the structure of our family for a decade now. Maybe even thank me for putting up with you all this time.
Thank you for that? I'll have you know that I'm never going to be thanking you for anything you've done. The thankfulness I have for you is non-existent. So there you go.
I don't think that right now is the greatest time to be saying such things to me, Rin.
I have to ask, do you actually plan on coming to my wedding?
Huh? What are you saying? Why do you think I wouldn't go? That'd be completely strange of me to not come to my own daughter's wedding, right?
Well, only if I was your actual daughter. But you don't have any daughters, do you? So, that's why I'm asking you to stay away from my wedding, okay?
Do you think because I'm not that forward with myself you can just get away with saying that? Talking down to me because I'm your stepmother, even though I was glad to make someone I never asked for my own. Don't you think you're going a little too far right now, Rin? I have been trying my best with you for these past 10 years, so hearing you say all these horrible things to me really hurts.
If you do end up coming to my wedding, you won't have a seat prepared for you. I have no reason to prepare a seat for someone that's faking being my mother, right?
Calling me a fake, though? I have always wanted to be like your real mom. After marrying your father years ago, I've done everything I could to show you that I care about you as well. Can you please respect me just a bit more as your stepmother? I've been raising you for a decade now, Rin. What's so bad about having me at your wedding?
Well, I just recommend that you don't come. Because I don't see you as my real mom. All you'll do is embarrass yourself by coming, so I would definitely recommend staying away. Because, once again, you're not my mom. Just some secondary wife, right?
You really are just having a blast saying these things about me, huh? Ever since I married your father, everything has been smooth sailing. And up until recently, you and I have never been at arms with one another. Why have you started to act this way towards me now?
That's because I finally realized that you're just a fake and that's it. Everyone knows that the real thing is way better to have around than some wannabe.
I'm starting to see that you really enjoy calling me a fake. Well, I suppose there's nothing else I can really say to you over text right now. I just hope you take a little time before your wedding to calm down a bit and rethink having me at your wedding. I'd like you to look at things as though you're an adult.
Do not come to my wedding today. You are just a stranger now, so don't show up.
What are you talking about now? Today is one of the most important days of your life, right? You are my stepdaughter after all, so I'm going to have to come see you. Will you allow me to please be there to celebrate your big day?
I asked my real mom to come today, and so there's no seat here for you.
Huh? What do you mean you asked your real mom to come?
My real mom is coming. Actually, I've recently been getting back in touch with my real mom after she started texting me out of the blue.
Huh? When you say your mom, you mean your actual mom?
What else would I mean by that? So, your life living as my stepmother is over now. I'm going to be cutting ties with you now. And besides, there's only enough room here for one mom, and so it's been reserved for her. I mean, why wouldn't I have my real mother here as opposed to some fake?
You really asked that person to come to your wedding? Are you really okay?
What do you mean by that one? This is my own flesh and blood mother. Of course I'm okay with her coming to my biggest day.
Did you forget about how she left you behind in middle school and got up and just vanished from you and your dad? You had a terrible time back then, right?
Shut up already! I don't want some stranger talking to me about my life. My mom had a lot of things going on in her life, so she had no other choice at the time. And she's the only one that truly understands what hardships she had to face then. So I'm going to make you shut up by ending things between us right now. I'm sure that my mom and dad will get back together with one another, and today will be the start of that.
I don't think that'll ever happen, Rin.
Compared to you, my mom's a way better mother. Well, I guess there was no comparing you both, though, because I've never once seen you as my mother.
Is that so? Rin, I completely understand how you feel about me now. After all the blood and sweat I gave to raise you as my own, you have made things very clear after all the horrible things you've told me recently. But I don't mind. After this, there will be nothing left for the two of us to talk about.
Just remember that I only prepared one seat, and that's been saved for my real mom. So don't bother trying to come. I never thought of you as my mom, you fake. So hurry up and get out of here!
So that's what you really want then, right?
All those that have been fake need to leave.
Well, whatever happens after this is not going to be my problem then.
Good.
I'll do the same as you and make this the last time I ever talk to you. But of course, there was never a close relationship between us in the first place, so this won't be so bad for me. Goodbye forever, Rin. I hope you have a happy wedding.
Things are out of control right now. Come and help me, Lori! Where are you at right now?
Excuse me, who is this?
Stop trying to make stupid jokes with me, Lori! Hurry up and get back to the wedding! If things keep going like this, I'll be in huge trouble.
Are you really trying to screw with me or something? Why would I have any reason to come back there?
Huh? Why?
I'm finished with you, Rin. And I even did as you asked and went back home. We had last talked an hour ago, so what did you think I'd have done in that time? What do you want from me now? You understand that I don't need you anymore, right?
Lori, please! I'm bawling my eyes out right now! Please, answer the phone call for me.
Huh? What are you even talking about? You and I are complete strangers now, right? Oh, wait. We've always been complete strangers. So after all that fuss you made about me, why would you think of me as anyone besides a stranger?
Wait, but I'm seriously crying a lot right now. Can't you see that I'm in a terrible pinch right now?
I cannot.
What?
And even if I could see that you're in trouble, I'd do nothing about it. You having a fit right now over something has nothing to do with me and my life.
I get it. I'll tell you outright. My real mom is crazy.
Oh? What do you mean by her being crazy?
Some messed up woman came into my wedding out of nowhere. When I had met with her before, she was never that way, but she began going through all the food at the buffet like a maniac, and now she's hitting on all the men here.
That's even worse than I was thinking she'd be like. But I guess it can happen.
And now my fiancé's whole family and all my friends know that someone like her is my real mom. Right now, I'm so embarrassed by everything she's done.
Did you never know that your real mom was that kind of woman? She had started talking with you again after so long, so I assumed you understood the person she is.
I didn't have any memories of her, and she started to text me again asking to meet up. And then we went out once to eat and chat about life, but I never thought that she'd turn out to be some lunatic. Even my fiancé himself was disgusted by what he saw from her, and at the moment he's thinking about canceling the wedding. Now the security is coming to deal with her. And Dad got so upset with me asking why I'd invited her to my wedding and ended up leaving before the wedding even started. What should I do right now?
You're asking me that? Why would you ask me?
I let my dad know the reason why I didn't want you to come to my wedding. But I never wanted him to get upset with me and leave over it. Go and explain all of this to him. He said if he doesn't get a good explanation for all of this, he's going to be done with me as his daughter.
Well, of course he'd do that.
Why are you acting like this doesn't matter to you? Do you not see how huge of a deal this is for me right now? He was even supposed to help pay for this wedding and other things, but now that's never going to happen. What should I do, Lori?
You asked me to never come to that wedding, right, Rin? So how am I supposed to tell you what to do now? I think your best choice now is to just embrace the reality you've just made.
Huh? What do you mean, embrace this reality?
I'm saying there's no turning back for you now. Did you never realize that I was the one paying for your wedding, as well as for you both to go on your honeymoon?
You were. My dad wasn't going to be the one doing that?
I was. We'd even talked about this at dinner, but as usual, you never listened to anything we said. Well, I'm not paying for you guys anymore, so you can go ahead and afford all of that by yourself.
Huh? What?
You are nothing to me anymore, Rin, and so there's no reason for me to pay for you, right? I don't even want to hand any more money to you, so don't expect anything. You're going to have to pay it all off yourself, so after this, make sure to work hard for all that money.
Wait a second, Lori. A lot of the people at the wedding are starting to leave, and I think the wedding has totally been canceled now. And my fiancé's family is all really pissed off. And everyone is asking for me to return all the presents I had been gifted from them. And if you're not going to be paying anything for this wedding, then I'm going to be getting into some really bad debt.
And that's all nothing I care about. Do your best to work hard and pay all of that off. I've also made sure to cancel your guys' honeymoon trip for you.
Huh? Are you serious?
If you really still want to go with your upset husband, or alone, then you can pay for that with your own money, right? I have no plans to ever fork money over to you again, so that's your only option. Take some responsibility for the reality you've just created for yourself. Now, I'll be going.
Wait, Mom!
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, I meant Lori? I'm not sure what has gotten into me recently. But I had really just wanted to be with my real mother again. And maybe that's what made me start acting out against you, like you weren't the one that cared for me. After all, you were the one that stuck with me and made sure I was raised well. And so I still believe that you're my mom. You should be okay with me still calling you Mom, right? Please, let's just go back to being a close family with one another.
Huh? Why are you trying to act as though you've done nothing horrible these past few weeks? It's not going to happen, Rin.
What?
You have really pissed me off with the attitude you've given me recently. And so I've had enough of whatever you thought was okay to say and do to me. I cannot believe that the girl I thought was so cute and kind could turn out the way you are now. So believe me when I say that you are a complete stranger to me now.
You're going cold to me just like that? Only a few hours ago you believed that I was still your daughter, right?
Well, when you decided to make things the worst they could be between you and I with that gross attitude you had, I was at a loss for words. I'm pretty sure you and I will never see one another again, so have a great life. You and that fiancé of yours try hard to rekindle whatever love you guys had. Well, as long as that's even possible now. Go find your real mom and try and ask her for help, okay? The fake will now be leaving your life forever.
I was never being serious when I called you a fake. Forgive me, please. I can't make it on my own without my mom. Have you just forgotten about the past 10 years we've had together?
Well, after the way you've treated me, I thought it was completely fine to forget about all that. Really, I don't ever want to see or hear from you again, and your dad has pretty much cut ties with you now.
If the both of you are gone, then what am I going to do?
Isn't this great? You got to finally meet your real mom again. A woman that loves to spend money and is ridden with debt. She's even the type where if she gets the chance, she'll steal money from others. Well, go find her and ask for her to take care of you now. Goodbye, Rin. In the end, Rin was left dealing with a very upset fiancé, or should I say husband, since a week before they had handed in their wedding papers. He had had enough of her and her real mother, and so he began to move towards divorcing her. But Rin no longer had a home to go back to, and so she really was in a pinch like she'd said. As for all the money she'd had in her savings, it vanished into paying off the cancellation fees for the wedding. And now she's stuck dealing with a mother that keeps asking for her to spare her some cash. Rin tried to get Lori to help her, but Lori really was finished with her, and so she ended up blocking Rin, and doing as Rin had originally asked of her. I'm sure that Rin is left wondering what she could possibly do now, but her best bet would be to listen to exactly what Lori had told her and find a job to start working non-stop to make back whatever money she's lost. And if she plans on keeping the money she makes, it's best she gets rid of that crazy mom of hers that'll probably suck her dry in no time. But as for Lori, her and her husband have made the right choice in blocking Rin out of their life and will no longer have to worry about whatever problems she gets herself into.
Hannah, I just handed in the divorce papers.
Great.
I take it you know where we both stand on custody of the kids. The twins, Ben and Ivy. You get Ivy, and I get Ben.
To tell you the truth, I still don't agree with it.
What good is complaining after all this time? It's already decided, and there's no going back.
I know that. But I can't just look the other way when you call our daughter such horrible things. A brainless good-for-nothing? Really?
It's the truth. What do you want me to do, lie? I have to take Ben because my dad's company is in urgent need of a successor. But Ivy? Yeah, that's not happening. It'd be one thing if she was smart and gifted like Ben, but it seems like she didn't inherit my amazing elite genes like he did. Her grades are average at best. Her face is ordinary. She's not even good at sports. She has no redeeming qualities. She's literally the most average kid I'd ever met. Why would I want her? In any case, the only life that could possibly await a girl like that is marrying into the family of some run-of-the-mill office worker. There's no way she's got what it takes to inherit my dad's company. What benefit is there in having her around eating my food? As long as I get Ben, I'm happy.
Ugh, good grief. It goes without saying that you better not ever say any of those things to her face. But don't go spewing your poison in front of Ben either. They're twins. They think a lot of each other. They're well past the age of not being able to understand things adults say, so you need to be careful. I'll be furious if I hear you've been filling Ben's head with horrible things about his sister.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's not like me and you are ever gonna meet again after this, is it?
I'm serious. Please, don't. Take good care of Ben, won't you?
Of course I will. I don't need you to tell me. He's gonna get an elite education and make tons of money, you'll see. Benny boy is going places.
It's not that I don't understand you wanting those things for him. But please make sure you let him do the stuff he wants to do sometimes too, okay?
Yeah, whatever. I guess this is it then.
Yeah. Bye.
Hey, Mom, is now a good time?
Hey, Ivy. Sure, what's up?
So I'm heading to the station near college right now. You'll never believe this, but my old dad is waiting by the ticket gate.
What? What do you mean?
My friend who went home before me sent me a message. Apparently he's going around the station asking every single young girl he sees, "Are you Ivy?" To anyone else, he probably just looks like a sex offender.
What the?
I carefully continued to the station to see whether it was actually him. And sure enough, of course he looks a little older than I remember him, but it's him.
What the heck is that man playing at?
Right? After all this time! He was dead set on only taking Ben back then, too. He had no interest in me whatsoever. I remembered like it was yesterday, how he smugly declared, "I'm fine as long as I have Ben," while reclining on the sofa and chuckling to himself like a jackass.
Oh, me too, sweetie.
Anyway, I need to come home, so I'm gonna enter the station through the ticket gate on the opposite side of the station, the one by the tracks. I'll probably be 1 or 2 trains later than usual.
Okay, got it. Make sure he doesn't see you. Be careful, Ivy.
Hello, Hannah. It's been a while. It's me, Gary. We need to talk.
We do?
Yes, we do. So it's like this, see? About a week ago.
You were lurking around the station like some creep trying to find Ivy?
Huh? You know?
I know. You were running around approaching every girl who looked like they might be under 25 asking if they were Ivy, weren't you? One of the girls you approached was Ivy's friend. Thankfully, she messaged her immediately with a warning to avoid the area.
Oh, I see. So does that mean she went home a different way so I wouldn't find her?
That's right.
How could she? I went out of my way to try to find her! We could have finally been reunited! I'm her father, damn it!
This makes no sense. Did you forget everything that happened back then?
Huh?
The reason we divorced in the first place is because Ben was the only child who existed in yours and your dad's eyes. On the rare occasion you actually acknowledged mine and Ivy's existences, you treated us like dirt. Your face practically lit up when I suggested divorce, and you had the papers signed and handed in before the day was up. You had no interest in having any part in Ivy's life, and you certainly weren't going to fight for custody of her. In spite of that, I suddenly hear you're running around the station, approaching every teenage girl you see like some kind of a sex pest in order to try and track down your estranged daughter? I'm struggling to understand here. Can you help me out a little?
What choice did I have? I don't know where you guys live anymore. All I had was some vague information on which college he's at. And so that was my only option.
That's not what I'm asking. Not that that's not a problem, too. But if you wanted to meet Ivy, you should have come to me first. I'm her mother and legal guardian. We intentionally kept hold of each other's numbers for this exact reason, did we not? Stop taking liberties!
Do you really want me to go into all the boring details? I don't have time for that. The point is, Ivy's doing really well now, isn't she? Looks like you did a half-decent job raising her after all. I heard she always gets the top grades in school, and was even president of the student council. Is it true? What's more, she even got into Apple College! Everyone knows how brutal their entrance exams are, so she must have something in between those ears of hers after all.
What's your point?
The point is that it turns out she did inherit my amazing elite genes after all, and this just proves it! That's my girl! Which means I'll be taking custody of her. Thanks to your hard work, you did a great job, really! You can leave the rest to me.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? Ivy must have gotten into college on a scholarship fund, right? And she has to be working crazy hours at some part-time job.
Scholarship fund? Part-time job?
You can't play dumb with me, Hannah, because I'm smart. Very, very smart. We agreed neither of us would pay child support at the time of the divorce since we were both taking a kid each. But unlike me, who was always working, and in a pretty good company at that, you were a stay-at-home housewife until the divorce. Even if you did manage to find a job after the split, your salary would have likely been average at best, realistically speaking. Now thinking about it logically, the only way Ivy could afford to go to Apple College despite being raised by a poverty-stricken single mother like you is through some kind of scholarship fund or job. Am I right? Or am I right?
What happened to all that stuff you said about Ben?
Huh?
You used to always say you'd be happy as long as you had Ben. What happened to that?
That kid. He was a complete disappointment.
What?
He betrayed my expectations in the most pathetic, cowardly way. He ran away as soon as he graduated high school, in the middle of the night, no less. Pfft. I have no idea where he is now.
Are you even gonna bother looking for him?
I was so disappointed I didn't feel like wasting my time trying. I decided to wait for him to come back and apologize before considering forgiveness. Not gonna lie, that hurt. I was pretty dejected. But, right around the same time, I got word of what a high achiever Ivy was turning out to be. I thought it could only be fate. Which is why I'm doing whatever I can to find her as quickly as I can. With me raising her, she won't have to waste her time working some crummy job or relying on scholarship money to study. I'm exactly what she needs right now. Oh yeah, my dad changed his mind. He's ready to let her be the successor to his company now.
Gary, do you even know which faculty at Apple College Ivy is studying at?
Huh?
The legal faculty.
What? Wasn't she majoring in economics?
She decided she wanted to be a lawyer and went to college to study law instead.
A lawyer? No, she will not be a lawyer. Starting next year, we'll transfer her to the Faculty of Economics. Contact the college and have them initiate the procedures now!
Why?
Because she has to inherit my dad's company! She can't do that if she's a frickin' lawyer! She has to learn economics! There's no other option!
Oh, so that's why.
Huh?
You were trying to force that on Ben, too, weren't you?
Forcing? A father's authority is final! He has no right to disobey my command, and learning economics is an essential requirement of inheriting my dad's company! You should be careful how you speak to me!
Do you have any interest in what Ben himself wants to do with his life? Do you even know what that is?
Huh?
Your son wants to be a chef.
A chef?
You do know how much he loves cooking, don't you?
Oh yeah, I remember catching him wearing that stupid hat a while back. That stuff's for pansies! I told him how shameful his stupid effeminate behavior was and banned him from embarrassing me by ever doing it again!
I know. That's why he ran away in the night.
Huh?
Ever since he graduated high school, he's been working part-time to save up money to go to a specialist culinary arts college. He's set to start studying there next April.
He is? Hey, wait a second. How do you know all this? You weren't supposed to meet him after the divorce! We agreed!
I know, we didn't meet. At least not while you had legal custody of him.
Huh? What are you trying to say?
Don't tell me you forgot. Ben and Ivy both turned 20 the year before last.
Huh? So what?
They're fully fledged adults now, so the custody terms we agreed on during the divorce no longer apply. Ben doesn't need your permission to come and see me anymore,
Oh, he doesn't, huh?
which is why he came to see me, just yesterday in fact.
Wait a sec! How did he know where you live?
He and Ivy have had the same friends since back in elementary school, so he's always known my address.
How dare you! You've all been conspiring behind my back this whole time!
Ben told me all sorts of things. For example, how you temporarily became president of your dad's company. But were too much of an incompetent moron to run it properly, and your aged dad was forced to take the reins again before he ended up in the red or going bankrupt. By some miracle, you're still hanging on to the managerial position by a thread, but your dad swore you'd never be president again. Then, to make matters worse, Ben, who'd he'd been grooming to be his successor, decided he wanted to be a chef instead and pulled the disappearing act. The only reason you're trying to track down Ivy now is because you're out of candidates to inherit the company, isn't it?
If you're such an expert on the situation, why don't you just hand her over already? You know damn well it's in Ivy's best interest to be a household with money so she can focus on her studies. You're just being stubborn and selfish.
There's just one problem. Ivy never wants to see you again.
What?
I did just tell you. But she went out of her way to avoid you as soon as she heard you were out looking for her at the station. You can think of that as her response to your proposal.
Do you understand what a generous offer this is? I'm offering to cover all of her expenses until she graduates college. Not only that, but there's a CEO position waiting for her when she does. With me, she walks the path of the elite. With you, it's nothing but poverty, poverty, poverty! The opportunity to live a life free from financial worry is staring her right in the face! She'll never struggle for money again!
Gary, Ivy isn't studying on a scholarship.
Huh?
She doesn't have any money worries at all.
Don't make me laugh. There's no way a peasant like you could afford to cover her tuition fees at Apple College. What did you do? Rob a bank? You're obviously just making up desperate lies because you're scared of losing her when she realizes how much better her life will be with me. I've got it. Fine, I don't mind if we get back together.
Excuse me?
If we do that, you can guarantee Ivy a better life without having to say goodbye. Win-win!
No, really. We're doing fine for money.
You're clearly putting up a bold front. Tragic. I know that deep down you're chomping at the bit to go ahead with what I'm proposing. You're just too proud to admit it. One thing, though. When I say me and you can get back together, you should know what I mean is, I'll let you be my personal maidservant. Ever since my mom died, we've been forced to hire a maid, which means the finances have taken quite a hit. We could do with some free labor. This is actually perfect timing!
I married a lawyer.
What?
We were introduced through a friend when Ivy was in her second year of high school. Ivy calls him Dad now.
She does what now? How dare she, that traitor!
It's thanks to his influence that she decided she wants to be a lawyer.
Even so, I'm her dad and always will be!
Actually, the adoption procedures were recently finalized, so legally speaking, he's her dad now.
What? You let him do that?
As you probably know, a lawyer's salary isn't half bad, and he's been kind enough to cover half of her college expenses, so you really don't need to worry about us struggling.
Half?
He did offer to pay the full amount, but I worked so hard to save up money to send her to college before we got married. Plus, Ivy herself has been working long hours too. So to make sure we'd never forget what we went through, we have a constant reminder of the importance of hard work. We paid the other half ourselves.
I don't understand. Why wouldn't you accept?
It makes no difference whether you understand or not, so that's fine. Oh yeah, that reminds me. We're currently in talks to start the adoption process for Ben, too. I'll be sure to keep you posted.
What? What about me? Who's gonna inherit my dad's company?
Why does it have to be a family member? Why can't you pick a successor based on their abilities and talents? Sounds like you could use some fresh blood. Meh, that's not really for me to comment on.
Aha! I've got it! I'll let you have Ben. If you give me Ivy, can we do a trade?
You still don't get it, do you? Ugh, this is a waste of time.
Huh?
Ben and Ivy are both adults now, and they're free to make their own choices. I think it's time we block you.
No, wait! Please! Just wait!
Goodbye. I heard through a friend a few days later. Apparently, Gary's dad told him that if he didn't come home with either Ben or Ivy to inherit the company, he'd lose his managerial position and be demoted to a regular employee. After I blocked him, he went on the offensive with Ivy. Once again, he was sighted approaching young girls at the station, but this time around, he was swiftly reported to the police and arrested. My husband, the lawyer, decided it was time to take action. He had a restraining order put out against Gary, banning him from ever coming near any of us again. A year later, Gary's dad's company went bankrupt. Apparently, word of one of the managers being arrested for harassing young women in public played a part in the stock price hitting an all-time low and the company's subsequent collapse. Both Gary and his dad worked like dogs to pay off the debt they took on in a desperate last-ditch attempt to save the sinking ship. They did manage to keep up with the repayments somehow or another, but due to the fact that neither of them knew how to do housework, their apartment turned into something resembling a bomb site stinking of rotten meat within a month of them moving in. Naturally, reports from the neighbors came in one after the other. Now, no one has any idea where they disappeared to after being handed the eviction notice.